Hello and welcome to the Scientist Sage Sangha. I'm so glad to have you here tonight. My name is Nancy Anderson Dolman from Wise Heart Wellness, and once a week we meet to discuss an interesting term and how it might apply to our lives. And today's term is searching. And this was not something I thought, oh, I really want to do this. Sound a little ominous. But when I started to move into it, I thought, wow, this is really important. And I don't recall talking with very many people about it. The idea of searching, we do this our whole lives from a baby whose eyes are always searching for their mom to, somebody with Alzheimer's at the end of their life is always searching for everything they can't remember. And every everything in between is about some sort of searching. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. And we can get obsessed about it and regardless of what we're searching for. Something that's good for us, like peace. I always identify myself with searching for peace. Or if we're searching for something that's not so good for us, like, with like an addict on a mission, basically, things like that. Or the person who has to go to every Boxing Day sale or Black Friday sale and searching for just the right thing. And that's the kind of thing we get into trouble with. We have this idea that there is something somewhere that will make everything great. And it would be lovely if there was, but often that isn't the case. There are delusions or false hopes even. And the idea that when I get this, whatever it is, then I will be calm and relaxed for the rest of my life. And whether it's a Buddhist searching for enlightenment or, someone searching for God's approval, whatever we're searching for can take our life in different kinds of directions. So this idea about this, we may be even searching for ourselves. We may have literally lost ourselves, but we don't know where to look. So we pursue all sorts of other things, maybe self-development, or maybe a guru of some kind to tell us what the answers are. There's always the stories of people climbing the mountain to meet the guru and get that answer. And we search for that and we search for that. But sometimes if we've been conscious and creative and curious, maybe when we're exploring but not overly bound to finding something, that's a different kind of search. It really is this expansion as opposed to this mission we're on to search and find. And we've been doing searching our whole lives. And I really worry if I am running from thing to thing, situation to situation, searching for something. If I do go into it in that way, I often will be searching very soon again, because there's what I'm searching for isn't a single thing or a single point in time. We imagine sort of a magic door or an elixir or something that's going to solve our problems. And there's so many stories and fairy tales and history about people, Columbus searching for the new continent, and yeah, look how well that went for everybody. We're just saying. But that really the energy of our search is important, because searching is a part of life and we will always be drawn into it. And so if we are searching for, a partner or help or car keys, that's often mine, we will continue the different kinds of searches our whole lives. And when you see a child searching for things and they pull up a blanket and find a toy, they are absolutely delighted and excited about it. But we kind of get, we lose our enthusiasm like that. We may find something and we search for the right car or job or whatever, and then it doesn't last, because I don't believe it's meant to last. I believe this idea of searching is part of what's built into us to expand and not to gather a whole bunch of things like we've sort of moved into in a consumerist society, but to really move along finding the path that we are to go down, searching for our particular path. And what I understand today, it's actually a skill, and it's a state of mind and body that I can move into in a very good way that can help me, that I can be comfortable and competent in my searching, and I can grow my consciousness. And I went through my list of, what was my path of searching in my life. And when I was a preteen, when I was young, I was always searching for something I'd lost because I had lots of attention problems. And then at high school, I was just searching to fit in. And then I went to the library, and they taught you how to search in a particular way because they had a system for things. And I was so delighted in that because it helped me. Like, if I want to know this, I can search through the numbers, the Dewey Decimal System, and find my things. And so it was quite exciting in that. But then, as I was older, of course, I worked for an oil gas company, and they were on the computers now, right? And that was very, very different. The whole idea of search engine, when you try and search, it's a little tricky, the things it brings up, as I always do a little investigation before I do these. But if you look at your search box, it says search. So you can press go, and it doesn't go anywhere because it's telling you to search. It's not saying search. So it's kind of tricky. But that idea, that was really taken over, and it started to mean a whole different thing, a massive, massive range of information and options, not just searching for something in particular or something within us, things like that. It was really searching for those things outside us. But when I went on to work for child welfare, and I worked in a solvent users program, and we had a lot of Indigenous children. And they taught us how to search for people in runaways because these children run away. But it wasn't as good as the Dewey Decimal System because the kids that had been raised on the land and could just go overland by looking at the sun and the hills greatly outpaced those of us that were trying to search a grid box and find people. So that search didn't work. And what it shows is, like, all searches developed for certain things or in certain cultures or in certain places don't work for different people in different places and different times. We have to find our own way. And I really, I loved what I found when I became an addict, because I've been searching for all sorts of answers, and that they really had a lot of answers for me. But they also didn't say they had all the answers. They taught me how to search in somewhat sort of sacred processes. And that became a fascination. And I really had no idea what I was searching for until it actually found me. And I felt at home. And all of a sudden, I felt like, oh, every time I go on a search, I can bring in these other capacities, intuition, and simply asking for assistance and direction, and not just from people I found on the street in Los Angeles when I was lost, but not gurus that had the one answer. As a matter of fact, my spiritual teacher would always say, well, why are you asking me? Go and ask your own guides. Go and ask those immaterial forces to guide you towards what you're searching for. And so it was a huge shift. And with all of our fascination in science and seeking material things, we still don't even know how the whole universe works or how this planet works. And we're not learned to understand our whole universe and how we fit in it. Those kinds of searching are within as much as without. And so I always look for balance when I'm searching. And truly, even if I am searching like I was today for all sorts of things, we're big on searching for electrical cords for devices in my house today. And we were frantically searching, and we didn't find a thing. And so we're going to draw back and just do a little calming down, because when you're really, really frantically searching, and sort of rigid, like I'm going to search till I find it, when we're moving in that way, we miss things because our brain narrows our scope. And lots of times we're looking for something because we've put it somewhere unexpected or unusual, or it's fallen, or things like that. And if we remember exactly where it was through reason, we just go and get it. But we've lost that part. We don't have that because we try that, it's not there. And so we have to expand our idea. I have a good friend who is a tremendous finder. I am not as good at it as she is, but she literally gets still and she gets some ideas about where it might be and what it might look like and that sort of thing, whether she knows you or not or what you're looking for. And she goes, oh, that's it. Okay. And often she finds exactly that. So all of these ideas can be a little foreign for people. But when I pay attention to the search process, I can see what I might do to improve it. So if I am searching consciously and humbly, so, okay, no, that wasn't it. Do I feel any guidance? No, okay, I'll try this next reasonable thing. And not in that panic mode, but in actually feeling, looking for direction. So I'm not avoiding something. If I am avoiding a loss of something, I need to find it now, or I'm obsessing about it. Like I have to have the last one of these being sold at Christmas, those kinds of things. It gets worse. And we sort of get blinders on us and we're not as open and our brain is not processing as many details at once. So if I can be calm and consciously put it out, going, is this a good thing for me to be searching? Should I be doing this now? Um, what do I need to know to go forward to find this? And that can be something utterly personal, like my own heart, or it can be something specific, like a new gizmo that's out that isn't available very many places. So it's not that we use these ways of searching just for, expanding and enjoying the universe, but for every day. So this idea about that, it's not easy. We have to slow down, we have to stop entirely and take a few breaths and just relax a bit and notice that if I'm being driven by forces that are not stable and calming for me, like being angry or fearful or, then I will not be able to do this very well. Now, I lost my brand new expensive gloves this week, and they heat up by themselves and that sort of thing. And I was filled with fear, and I'm like, oh, where are they? And then I sat down and oh, okay, just let go. And it's like it's really cold where I'm at, so I was like, yes, I need these. But then the more I calmed down, okay. And then I went along and I just sort of opened and inquired, and I got the sense of just go along with your day. So I did, and ultimately I found the gloves. Now, you'll have to check back with me later because now I've lost the plug-in to heat them up. So I'm on a new open-minded search here. That's the joy of being someone with attention issues. There's a lot of searching going on, hence why I need to make it viable for my life, or I'd have a heart attack if I got upset every time I was searching for something. But as we calm and clarify, our brains actually start to work better. And this whole idea of clarifying, right now we're hit with so much media that we get caught up in the search just by seeing something flash across the screen, rather than, is this for me? Or is this an interesting thing? Is this something that would bring something useful to my life, something comfortable or supporting my life in some way? But that's why the simple, deep breathing is helpful because it actually gives your brain this all clear system. And so if I'm going, no, no, I think I need it now. I don't have any other information. I just ping pong around and go even to the places that I've already looked before over and over. And I'm not as likely to let somebody help me if I'm in that state as well. But if I take a few breaths and relax, often we're open. We're open to other people helping us. We're open to other people's ideas. We're open to different ideas that are coming towards us. We're sort of in the flow. And it's okay. And I have actually come to the idea when I'm looking for a specific material thing that, okay, if I need it, it'll show up. I'll know. I'll find it. And if I don't, then it's just moved on and I don't have to deal with that anymore. And okay. So this, I really much believe it. And it's been suggested by so many faith traditions that focusing on the breath opens up an entirely different field of experience. There's a lot of talk about energy fields and unity fields where everything is connected and we can feel that and know that. And so this idea of calming our bodies, very simple, is just to get connected to that bigger field of information, field of other people, field of energy, field of insight. And so I encourage people to try that. Um, you might have noticed that actually, if you're getting really upset all the time about things that you're searching for, and whether that's for, like a good doctor for a serious medical problem, or something as simple as, your children's matching socks. That used to drive me crazy to not have matching socks for my kids. But as I moved into it, it became less important. So I didn't have to put my energy in that. But another spiritual truth in that moment is we can be really hard on ourselves. Like, oh, why can't I find this? And I should have looked sooner, or I shouldn't have lost it, or whatever we're criticizing ourselves about. Or, I don't get to have what I'm left out. We're not being kind. And that really separates our hearts from our brains. And so the idea of being kind, there was a lovely quote that had been saying, I've been searching for ways to heal myself, and I found that kindness is the best way. And so it could be something like that, that isn't a thing or a concept or a material moment. It really might be a new way of life, or a new perspective of things. And that may be what our searching for car keys leads us to. So I say, don't abandon the search at all. I hope you don't feel that that's what I'm saying in this. I really think that those searches teach us and train us into things that are important lessons. And so I frequently have found that when I was intent on searching for some other thing, I found something that I had been looking for, or something that I didn't even know I wanted or I lost. And there it would be. Like recently, I got invited to a business party and I found a lovely job that I think I'd like to just do forever. And I didn't know I was searching for that. And so that sort of thing, it's not unusual when people stop searching altogether and they just shift to, opening up. They wake up in the middle of the night and they know where the thing is, or it just comes across their path when they're less driven to it. But I include a few hints in the email. And if you are not on our email list and would like to be, feel free to email Nancy at scientistsage, SAGE, at gmail.com. And you'll get the emails that go with all these videos. So they're not likely optimal. You'll notice if you're frantically searching everywhere without much success or any particularly good reason, probably not the best way to go about it. And, swearing you're going to search until you get it and being rigid and stuff, that's not usually that good either. The whole thing we're talking about kindness as opposed to berating yourself, and all of those kinds of things, and dropping the search because you just don't care, because that again shuts the door on any new information that might come your way. So that's not like the optimal pieces. The more optimal is to really look to be in that wide open flow, not the desperately driven, obsessive, grasping, gotta have it kind of thing. And stopping any moment when you get that urge and just calming, asking for guidance, even writing down what you're searching for and how you might want to and why you want it. And, people are saying, I want to do this and I'm searching for healing and here's why I think I'm doing it this way. Often they really find out that what they're actually searching for in reality is different than what they're wanting. And so as people get clarity that way, writing it out and that sort of thing can be really useful. And so what we do at that point is, just The idea of seeking clarity, it's a search of its own, and it's never perfectly clear, but it's just moving along. When I'm going to move along with that, but it really is surrendering the outcome of your search can be incredibly helpful. It's very, very advanced because you got to calm right down and realize that you don't necessarily control what's going to happen next. You could put in another 48 hours of frantic searching and not make any difference at all. But when you do that, when you calm down and clarify, you actually help your brain work better and leaves a little room for the universe to come in and help you search or help you abandon the search if that's what's better for you. So, for the people with me live tonight, I'll be back in a moment and we're going to start the meditation part of this. And for the people watching later, enjoy the meditation. And please feel free to leave comments or send us questions or particular words that you would like to see discussed to the same address, scientistsage@gmail.com. Okay, let's kick back and do a little meditation. And you might be thinking about something that you want to search for, or have been maybe, or just asking, is there anything that I need to keep aware for? Any direction that I should be looking right now? Be open to. So always start with that deeper, more relaxed breathing. And you might bring to mind something, someone, a way for your life, a path. Might be a particular object that you are cherishing, but can't find or would like to find. It doesn't have to be lost to be searched for. You might be searching for a path to make a transition in your life. Just open up and take a few breaths. And first of all, release any rigid, grasping, upset, worried kind of feelings. Just for now. Not that you should never be worried about this again, but just for now. Maybe you're even searching for a way to help someone else with issues they're dealing with. Just let as much clarity as you can come forward. Why do I want to search for this? Why do I feel that I should? And just feel for a little nudge, a little guidance. And I encourage you to actually ask. And it doesn't matter who or what you're asking. It might be your subconscious, it might be a spiritual guide, it might be, any part of you. And just say, please guide me in this search. You may even ask to just be guided in the process of searching. So you can move calmly and clearly through it. And be open to guidance if I move off the helpful path. Or even guidance that what I'm searching for is not for me at this moment. And let yourself feel a connection with your head and your heart. So your heart can truly give you strength for a search, and your mind keeps you open to what you find. And you may learn something right now in this current meditation. I encourage you to try this just before you go to bed. Often people wake up with new ideas. Or when you very first wake up, when your mind is open and fresh. Okay. Thank you so much for people tuning in and watching this later. We really appreciate you listening in. And take a moment breath then. I am with you. You are with me. However you found this, if it was a search or an accident or a referral, we're glad you made it. Thank you very much.